Alright, so... The woods, huh? Warning.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments. Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
So yeah, I apologize that I should have given a warning earlier before we went into that scene about, as I said at the end of the last video, that was the, I know that something like that can bother some people and disturb some people, so I apologize if you weren't ready for that. That's my fault, so yeah. Huh. Interesting. Well, if that is Ryan's, perhaps we should go check out the car at their house. Let's see if there's anything in here that could provide some answers. Or maybe even bring up more questions.
Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one.
So, that is a check worth £500. Now, I'm an American. I live in America. I've never been to the UK, so forgive me if I forget how much the equivalent of dollars and pounds sterling a head, or I'm sorry, sterling. I always remember the phrase pound sterling a head from the movie Tarzan when Clayton says it. It's just pound sterling. But I always forget what the equivalent it is in comparison to dollars. So, for those of you wondering, I just checked this online. The equivalent of £500 sterling is $633.81 here in the United States. Just to give you an idea of how much that is. Now apparently $500 is 394 pounds, according to what I'm seeing here on Google. But yeah, that's $633 here in the U.S. that we're looking at on a check, and that's from Ryan to Kate. Now that is interesting. Why would he actually want to offer that to her? Well, what do you guys say we go ahead and make our rounds here? Oh. James, are you making another deal? Oh yeah, that's definitely a deal going down. James receiving a bit of a delivery, it would seem. So before we go see James, what do you say we try to find whatever it was that was delivered just now? If it's not in this one, it might be in the other one. Yeah, it's in the other one.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's got some explaining to do.
Interesting. Poppy pods. Now remember, one of the big things that we are trying to figure out is why Kate had morphine and where it came from. And then we find these poppy pods, which, from what I understand, has, results in opium, which you can use for morphine, So let's...
A couple more things, please.
Let's go ahead and ask James about this.
What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling them to grannies.
Okay, James, let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that?
Scout's honour.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No, I didn't. Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
Now he understands why we're being so serious about asking these things. Any connections to opium, morphine, any of that? Could have something to do with Kate. Now he understands the severity of why we're asking these things.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Alright, so we have a few things to ask Paul here about. Let's start with Ryan's arthritis.
When did Ryan begin to suffer from arthritis?
Ryan doesn't suffer from arthritis.
Really?
The only thing that Ryan suffers from is a pathetic inability to deal with any kind of discomfort. He pulled his back sometime last year. Since then, he's going around telling everybody he suffers from arthritis.
I thought he had medication for it.
Oh, he only has medication because his GP, who is almost as dysfunctional as he is, keeps prescribing it for him.
So you don't believe he really has arthritis?
Not at all.
Paul does not hold back.
Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
I'm not sure I understand why he brings up the blondes thing, considering that 1, Kate is not blonde, 2, Emma is not blonde, and 3, Rebecca is not blonde. That's 3 women that are not blonde, and yet he says he has a weakness for blondes. I'm not really sure what Paul is, why he felt the need to bring that up when it doesn't seem to be the case.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pot?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
Well, okay then.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Now for Rebecca. I'm sure she would like to know about,
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
her husband offering that kind of money to Kate. But first, let's ask about the mirror room.
Do you know anything about a locked room at Atlas with mirrors in it?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think that's a question for Ryan.
Oh, we apparently, can't ask about that. Well, there you go.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
You noticed that reaction she had? She first was like, go on, as if she was concerned, and then when we then followed up, she seemed relieved, as if we asked the wrong question. Just think about that for a moment.
Later on, if that's okay.
Little things like that I would be like, if I was Jinx, I'd be like, why do you seem relieved, Rebecca? Like, I would like kind of like want to follow up on that, but whatever.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
We'll talk to Emma before we confront Simon.
Did you know about Ryan Rand's arthritis?
Arthritis? I didn't think Ryan had arthritis.
You know, I'm tempted to make a joke, considering that she was sleeping with him. And you could probably kind of figure out in your mind where I would be going with that joke, but I'm going to leave it alone. You can go ahead and make up that joke in your heads.
Do you know about the mirror room at Atlas?
Mirror room. No, I heard about it, but I think it was only for the students later on in the course. Something like that.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Did you know about Ryan's arthritis?
Ryan? He's got arthritis?
Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know. I hadn't noticed he had any problems.
Alright. We asked him about the mirror room. Not the check. What puppy pods?
Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though, James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
But I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? But I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so...
So he's allergic to opiates. Now hold on a second. He said that he and Kate both took morphine. But if he's allergic to them, that can't be true. There's no way he would have taken it if he knew he was allergic to them.
Aha. You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
What do you mean, test her?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me, and the other person's the...
Victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
You're making some
Seem to
very
have this
poor
all
defenses
neatly
here,
worked
Simon.
out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate?
Like, those are some poor defenses that Simon is making right now. So now we have something else to ask people about.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
You sure about that?
Thank you.
I don't think you know your boyfriend as well as you think, but then again, you were cheating on him with Ryan, so... Plus, kind of a diss there on him. I don't think they'd pick him.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, it's the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
And what happens then?
They get sacked.
Could you elaborate on what you mean by sacked? Like, just so we can clarify what exactly you mean.
Thank you.
Alright, so obviously, that's letting me know, don't even bother going to James about asking that. But let's go talk to Paul. Let's ask Paul about this before we go talk to Ryan.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
Uh-huh. A little kickback, huh?
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Now to talk to Ryan.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods? Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter. Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students, the ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It's a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives. More than I.
A motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
So, a little incentive, huh? Now, I thought you said... Where is it? Aha! Coerced or bribed.
Aha. So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
Now hold on a second. Test aren't tested.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because Because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate.
Yes!
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference! If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
Should have given a warning to headphone users that Ryan was about to go off like that. So, we're in the final hour, ladies and gentlemen. We have to solve this case this hour, or else we may let a killer loose or get away with their crime. Will Jenks solve the case and find out what really happened to Kate Vine? Stay tuned to find out.